Hey guys, this is part 3. Welcome back. Now, I'm sure some of you may be wondering how I found out about the JVC X'Eye. It's like I said, it's a system that very few people know about. 10,000 units were sold. Very hard to come by. Very hard to get your hands on. And yet I managed to get it for $320, despite the X'Eye having a $500 price tag. Well, how did I find out about the JVC X'Eye anyway? Well, I have to credit a young man that I follow on YouTube. Considering that I have a huge passion for gaming history, it's no surprise that I have a lot of admiration for Norman Caruso, also known as the gaming historian. Shortly before my SEGA Mark III came in the mail, I got the Gaming Historian Volume 1 on Blu-ray. Comes with a lot of really nice things here. I also not only pre-ordered the Blu-ray, but a t-shirt with the Gaming Historian logo on it. I feel very, very happy to own that. And Norman, if you're watching this, thank you very much. I feel very pleased. This is a fun watch. This is very fun to watch. This is a very nice thing to have, and the JVC X'Eye. I wouldn't have known about that system without you, Norm. So, thank you. This is very, very pleased to have a system, and it's all thanks to you. Now, another thing I thought I'd put in back just over a month ago. Well, actually, the story of this started back in over a year ago. I heard about this one book that was going to be released in honor of Sonic's 25th anniversary. And as soon as it was up for pre-order, I ordered it back in December. And I had to wait quite a bit. The publishers actually had to delay the release because the quality of their printer was not up to par. And I went for months without any sign of it. But then right after coming home from my trip to Boston and Philadelphia, checked my email, and I got an email from the publisher saying the book was shipped. It's on its way. People over in Europe already got their hands on it. And here it is, the limited collector's edition of the Sonic 25th Anniversary art book. Only 2,500 copies of the limited collector's edition were made, and I feel very proud to be one of the owners of such a copy. I also got a 10% off coupon from the publishers, Cook and Becker, and there really wasn't much else that I was going to use the coupon on other than a regular edition of the 25th anniversary art book. So I said I really don't plan on buying anything else from the publisher's website, so might as well just get the regular edition and keep this in a safe place. Keep the collector's edition in a safe place. So let me show you what it has. Let me put this down. Take the box off. Careful with this. This is not something that can be replaced. So here's the book cover showing Sonic's shoe prints, and there's a print that came with the book. Down. Please, there we go. And I'll tell you, and this is where it's numbered. This is the numbered copies. I am owner number 548 out of 2,500. Let me put this back down, print back in. Here's the print. Classic Sonic, Modern Sonic, and Boom Sonic. Put this back. Be very careful, please. This is a very, like I said, this is not an easy thing to replace. Just make sure that. Oops. Woohoo. Okay. Alright, yeah, as you can see, I'm being very sensitive with all this. So yeah, I got this back in July 26th. I'm very excited, very happy to have such a copy, and like I said, a spare one is on its way. Well, it actually hasn't been shipped, but it'll ship about a couple days from now, and I should get that edition before the month comes to an end, before next month. Before September comes to an end. Let me put this back. And finally, to end it off, one more system to show you. The Pico. Now, I remember seeing this system. I want to say it was 1997. I was at a dentist's office way down in the suburbs of Chicago. I had no idea what it was at the time, but after looking at some pictures of the system a few years ago, I was like, wait a minute, this system looks very familiar. It's like, where have I seen it? It's like, oh, that dentist's office. So, and I'll show you how it works. But before I show you how it works, I'm going to show you how similar it works to another very famous system. And just wait for a second, guys. I'll be right back. So putting a cartridge into the SEGA Pico, very similar to putting a cartridge in, more like a GamePak, pardon me, into a Nintendo Entertainment System. Here's my NES system. It's dead, and I'm sure it can be repaired somehow. But for those who don't remember the glory days of the Nintendo Entertainment System, let me show you how it worked. It's not plugged in. Otherwise, this thing would turn on. But for those who don't know how to operate a Nintendo Entertainment System, well, I'll show you. put in the GamePak. But this was, by the way, the first game I've ever played on an NES, Wheel of Fortune Family Edition. So you put it in like an old VCR. You have to put it in there, and then you have to push that in. You press down, close the door, press the power button, you're ready to play. This light would turn red and indicate that it's on, but since it's not plugged in, nothing's showing. So when you're done playing, first off, turn off the power button. And then open the door, push in on this, take the cartridge out. Ideally, you want to close the door to prevent dust from coming in. So that is the Nintendo Entertainment System for those who don't know it. Chances are you do, but I've seen some people who are as old as I am, and they say, well, my first system was a PlayStation 3, and I don't know anything about the Nintendo Entertainment System. Well, those who don't know about this iconic system from 1985, well, there you go. Putting a cartridge in to the Pico is, on the other hand, well, it's very simple. Here's one of my games, Sonic Game World. I showed you that in my last update video. This is not plugged in, but I'll show you guys how this works. Chances are you probably know how to work a Nintendo Entertainment System, but probably not a SEGA Pico. So for those who don't know about the Pico, chances are you may not. It's not your typical everyday video game system, and it's an unsung part of SEGA history. You push this yellow button, that comes down, and comes with a stylus. Well, not really a stylus, but it's a nice little pen. It has a button on the end of it. Click button. And you have the red action buttons, and you have 4 directional buttons. White for up, orange for down, purple for left, and green for right. And then you have the touchpad. Very few Pico systems actually have this yellow thing with red dots on it. And I got very lucky. I bought this back in wee hours of the morning. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. Back in July 28th when I bought this. And it took only 32 hours for it to arrive. It arrived back at 9 o'clock in the morning, back on July 29th. So, very pleased to have it. It's really good condition, too. I checked, and it works beautifully. Took a while just to get for some of the games to work, but still, it operates awesome. It works very well. So now, here's how to put in a cartridge, the Storyware. You put this into this yellow thing. Let me move this out of the way. You don't want this wire for the pen to get damaged. Otherwise, you're in a little bit of trouble. I don't know if anyone I know of can actually repair something like this. I know Play and Trade, they're second to none when it comes to console repairs. Play and Trade / back in the game. And I don't know if they could do this. So let's put the cartridge in here. It slides in very easily. I've never seen a system where a cartridge slides in so easily. And then you push this back. This thing will actually keep it in place. And then you turn on the system by sliding this up. And you have the red, and you have this indicating that it's on. When you're done, first things first, turn this off. And then you push up on this to eject the cartridge. Take it out, and you're good to go. Now, since this has pages, it's like, how does it determine which page you're on? Well, that's what these 6 holes are for on the back of the cartridge. They're a nice little bit of some laser lights. And the page blocks these holes and the laser light so it can determine which page you're on. So, so the Pico was the last system I needed to satisfy just about every platform that SEGA has come out with. So I'll let you in. I have the SG-1000. I have the My Card format. I have the Master System. I have the Sega Genesis. I have the Sega CD. I have the Sega 32X. I have the Sega CD 32X, meaning Sega CD games that require the 32X attachment. I have the Sega Game Gear. I have the Sega Pico. I have the Sega Saturn. And I have the Sega Dreamcast. So, just about every platform that SEGA has come out with. Now, I do plan on probably expanding my SEGA collection with some systems, work on region format. Pico is one of those systems that is region locked. So is the Saturn. I'd love to get my hands on a Japanese Sega Saturn. There is a game that was released only for the Japanese version of the Sega Saturn, and I also want a Japanese Pico system, since I have 2 copies of the Japanese version of Sonic Game World. So, but apart from that, I own a ton of just about every platform that SEGA has come out with, and I'm very, very excited, very pleased, very happy, and so yeah, it's wonderful. So with all that I've shown you, this is Germany 1990 speaking. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys again soon. Bye.